Hello everybody. As the sun goes down on the horizon and cloaks us all in a fiery red and orange hue, I thought let's talk about a planet which doesn't cloak us in orange but definitely cloaks us in red, a fiery bloody red. A planet which has been called Vakra or crooked or Angakaraka or Krura-drik, which is cruel-sighted, or Krura-krit, one who does cruel deeds, but has also been called as Sattva-dharaj, which is that Mars is the strength. Yeah, we are going to talk today about Mars. There is this verse which talks about the qualities of Mars, which says, Sobhocha diktas yaiva nicha shatru bhagasya cha bravimi bhumi putrasya shubh shubh dashafalam. Which means that Mars in a sign of exaltation or its own sign or in a sign of its Mutrikon gives riches, gives good results, gives you wins over enemies and excellent results all around. So let's talk a little bit about Mars, which evokes such fear, which is unfounded. What does Mars in the Lagna mean? Mars in the Lagna is about an energy which is throughout your life and not just about a certain house. And that's what a planet in the Lagna means. Mars being a fiery planet and a planet of energy, it denotes that the individual throughout his life will be full of energy, will be a fighter, will go all out to achieve anything that he wants, and will be able to achieve through sheer resilience, through sheer fighting spirit, and through valor. Mars has been called the general, and so he's a fighter, and Mars just wants to go out and achieve, just wants to get what he wants to achieve, or what he wants to get. Now let's see what the placement of Mars in different houses mean. Mars in the second house denotes that Mars is now positioned in home, with family, with dependents, with mother, brothers, siblings, and so forth. Mars here gives you a lot of energy to get what? Mars in the second house is all about fighting for family, defending the honor of family, and maybe even fight with family. Generally, it is saying that such a position of Mars gives you not only fiery disposition to protect the honor of your family and fight for them, but also sometimes challenges with siblings. Such a native generally is also the eldest in the family or carries the responsibility of the eldest in the family. And such a native will always be looking to increase the wealth that's coming in the family, because the second house is also the house of family's wealth, of wealth coming in and savings coming in. Mars also denotes a fiery language. Sometimes the person is more violent in erupting, in his eruptions. And so it does give you challenges. But Mars in this position has also been called as Mangalik. People who have Mars in the 12th, 1st, 2nd, 4th, 6th, 7th, 8th, in these houses have been called Manglik. Now, but what does it mean? Does it mean Mars fights with everyone and he denotes ill results or even death? What Mars denotes in each of these houses, just like the second house, in the third house it denotes that the native gets extra energy. He gets extra energy and valor to go out and do something on his own. Third house is the house of your own valor, the own energy, the fighting spirit to do something, even skill sets. So Mars generally in this house makes you somebody who is a go-getter in marketing, in his communication, and gives you good tendencies of business. A lot of people who have Mars in the third house also are achievers, because the third house is also called as the house of self-achievement rather than depending on planetary results. Mars in the fourth house gives you somebody who can do very well in real estate, can get you property, It does give you sometimes challenges at home with respect to happiness and with mother, and that's why it's been called Manglik. However, the high energy is also to achieve material benefits, because the fourth house is also the house of material benefits, of comforts, of even luxuries. So Venus here denotes vehicles and other material benefits, and Mars denotes property. You have Mars aspecting fourth house or Mars stationed in the fourth house. You can be rest assured that you'll have a huge fighting spirit to get more out of your real estate. Mars in the fifth house denotes extra communication or fiery communication in your love affairs, in romance, also go-getter in romance, and somebody who also has a lot of energy to complete his education, and someone who is also very lucky in speculative gains, because that's what the fifth house is also for. Mars in the sixth house is the fighter of enemies, is the vanquisher of enemies, and also someone who, if he's an armed forces or is a lawyer fighting for those people who are the people who face unprecedented events or sudden events in their lives, because the sixth house is also of diseases and also of court cases. So Mars station here can give somebody a career in armed forces and also fighting lawsuits, or being in an organization which fights for or stands up for people who are not so lucky, who are down and out and destitutes. Mars in the seventh house is the house of achievement, of business results, and daily wages too. And in partnerships, so it gives you fiery disposition in partnership. It helps you to achieve more in your daily wages, makes you a go-getter, and sometimes it also gives you some fieriness where it comes to dealing with the spouse, because you want the spouse to do your bidding. So one has to be careful with Mars in the seventh house, because that has also been called a position as being Manglik. That one controls his temper, one doesn't push spouse to do more or to dance to his tunes, because it may create challenges in marital life. Mars in the eighth house is also a natural owner or lord of this house, because Mars also is the owner or the lord of Scorpio. And why does Mars own the first house, Aries, and the eighth house, Scorpio? Because Mars for the eighth house of Scorpio is seen as the only planet who has energy and who is fearless to go and delve into the secrets and unearth the secrets of the eighth house from below. And so Mars owns the eighth house and has this energy of being able to fight against unprecedented events, sudden events, transformational events of the eighth house. And Mars station here is also being called Manglik. However, it also creates a lot of fighting energy if it's in a benefic planet, in its own planet also, in its own house also, to ward off unprecedented events. It's also the planet of research here. Mars is an engineer, and also somebody who can be into manufacturing. So people who are into manufacturing and using metals can also be denoted by this position. Mars in the ninth house is someone who is really extremely lucky, because ninth house is house of gain. If it's in a benefic placement, to mind you, it gives you very high energy to excel in studies, to do well, to push your place to go abroad, to get good results in large organizations. If the energy is tied to the 11th house, but also high energy towards religiosity or religion or even spiritualism. It does create some challenges with fathers sometimes, and sometimes even with gurus. But if it's in a benefic house, it's a well-placed Mars there. Mars in the 10th house is an achiever again. It gives you very high energy to achieve at work, in career. It gives you very high energy to be able to complete projects, to be able to finish things on time. Is the placement of a leader, is the placement of an authority figure. It may create issues with superiors every now and then. However, with the benefic aspect of either Jupiter or being placed in its own Mool Trikona sign, Mars does extremely well in the 10th house. Mars in the 11th house is also very, very lucky, extremely lucky, not only because it's an Upchaya house and the house of gains, but Mars station here also gives you the energy and the wherewithal to do very well in large groups of people, in society, in being a go-getter. However, sometimes it does create issues with elder siblings, and it also gives you higher desires, higher aspirations. If it's not well placed here, then there will be a lot of challenges when it comes to getting gains and big gains. Mars in the 12th house can be a well placed planet to get results from foreign lands. Also, because the 12th house is the house of jails and secluded areas and even hospitals, Mars tied with or sharing energy with the 8th house can make you a surgeon. It can also make you a jailer, can make you a high-ranking official in the armed forces, in the army, and also somebody who is very high-ranked official in foreign lands. I've seen such a position along with Sun and Jupiter to be ambassadors in foreign lands or being representatives of their country, even in the United Nations. So Mars is a planet not to be dreaded. Mars is a planet of energy. Mars gives us the push to go and achieve more, and Mars keeps us from giving up. Mars gives us the energy to go on, to keep going on, and though being called sattvic, being called malefic, if placed well and if handled well, if the fieriness of Mars is handled well, there is nothing to fear about from this planet. People, please like this video, please subscribe to this channel, and if you want to reach out to me, please for personal consultation, please find my links, my email ID in my links below, and till we meet some other day. Thank you.